Welcome to the Underground Tattoo Podcast. So excited to have you on today.
So excited to be here.
You are an LA-based tattoo artist, right?
I am.
You're from LA?
I'm not from LA. I'm actually from Houston, Texas. Well, I was born in Rhode Island, but my
Houston,
family moved to
Texas,
Houston,
huh?
Texas, yeah. Grew up there.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
When did you come to LA?
2020.
Oh, so it's like for your tattoo career.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hell yeah. Okay, that's dope. Hell yeah. What you kind of had a remarkable career. So how long have you been tattooing?
I've been tattooing for about, if like collectively you put it all together, about 5 years.
Not collectively. Like I don't think it's fair to count it unless you were full time you know what I'm saying? I feel like if you're
Right.
not, yeah, because you can't really advance.
Yeah, totally. That makes sense. I feel full time, I've been a
Or
tattoo
mostly
artist
full time, yeah.
for, I want to say like 3 years.
Cool. Yeah,
I
that makes
think.
sense. Hell
Full
yeah.
time. Yeah.
Hell yeah. But yeah, you started around 2019, 2020 or whatever.
Yeah. I actually did my first tattoo when I was 16 on my dad.
Oh yeah? On your dad?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was
Did you use a
funny.
machine or?
Yeah, so I learned on coil
Mm-hmm.
initially, and I used coil up until 2 years ago. And now I use a bishop wand.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's cool. How did you learn? Did you have someone teaching you coil then, or?
It's kind of a complicated history.
Fair enough. We don't gotta go over it.
Yeah, but it's like it's basically my dad was married to a tattoo artist actually.
Okay.
I don't resonate with her work, so I don't
Sure.
really talk about it that much, but
Sure.
it was a weird situation, and that's actually why I moved to LA, because I was trying to like escape that situation, because I was sort of in an apprenticeship with her.
Sure.
But it was...
So when you came out here, it was like, did you know people, or was it more of kind of leap of faith?
I did know people, actually.
Yeah, have a little bit of a community.
Yeah, I had a community because I was still with my high school sweetheart. So I moved in actually in a 2-bedroom apartment in Hollywood with 5 people in it.
Crazy. So,
Yeah.
Okay, so you came out here. Were you at the Carousel, that
Yeah.
DIY space?
Yes. First I was at a shop in downtown LA in the
Bad
Arts
Dog?
District. No, it was called Sorry Mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, you were one of the early Sorry Mom people? Really? That's
Yeah.
crazy. With no, I did a bunch of stuff with me and Clover. We're doing events because Clover's an event tattoo artist. So I got to meet that whole
Oh yeah,
circle.
Clover, that's where I met Clover actually, yeah.
Oh, you met Clover first at an event?
It was
Tattooing
at
event?
Sorry Mom.
Oh, at Sorry Mom. Okay, cool. Hell yeah.
And that's also where I met Kiara, and then me and Kiara started the Carousel.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
We rented a spot in Hollywood next to Davy Wayne's, next to Good Time at
Is
Davy
Kiara
Wayne's.
still at Carousel Tattoo?
Yeah, but it's at a different location now.
Oh, they moved locations?
Mm-hmm.
They like upgrade a little bit, or?
Yeah, it's a super nice space. I've been in there. I talk to Kiara sometimes. I miss her. But yeah, that's a
You
good
kind
little
of
space.
did for anyone, like any young scratchers out there who aren't familiar, you're a resident at Night School Tattoo. Night School Tattoo is one of the most prestigious fine line shops in the country. So it's like it's a very high bar. It's kind of hard to get in. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a very certain level of like quality to your work. You know what I'm saying? To get to land a guest spot there, let alone a residency. So it's interesting to go, like, you know what I mean, like self-made, the DIY shop, to go that route. Like, I'm gonna actually go more legit, work at a bigger name shop, work at, like, right on the beach in Venice, nice part of Venice. And
yeah, it's interesting because I started so like trad, like a lot of what I was doing at first was more on the trad side, and then I started doing more like fine line, and Joey from Night School was like, send me some fine line stuff that you've been doing lately. And so I practiced a bunch of fine line, like single needle, like tiny tattoos. And I sent them over and he was like, this is sick.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, Night School is remarkable because it's a fine line walk-in studio, so it's set up like a modern parlor style studio, but it's also a street shop
Yeah.
for like straight up like modern like Pinterest style minimalist white girl fine line.
Yeah.
So
And
it's special.
they do all sorts of stuff like
Absolutely.
I feel like night school has somebody that works there that can do like something of everything, you know what I mean? We have
Absolutely.
like
It's a
people who do
contemporary.
everything. Yeah, which is
It's
really cool that there's so much variety.
Yeah, like it's at its core, it's fine line, but Joey Hill, the owner, he definitely there is an appreciator of contemporary fine art, you know, like he knows a lot about art history, modern art history, and you see that in the artists there. So what made you what made you do the jump? Like to go from the route you went? Because I kind of did the same thing. I mean, I could have dug in and went super hardcore stretcher, you know what I'm saying, and stayed like super underground, but instead I was like, oh, I'm gonna try to like go as legit as possible. I'm like literally an APT member now. You know what I'm saying? Get all these organizations, work with all these big people. A lot of the opportunities that I've got involved in never would have happened if I wasn't a resident where I am a resident. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm interested to hear your take.
Um Yeah, I don't know. I really liked the carousel. I felt like I was and I still am. I honestly I don't have that big of an audience. And I loved taking walk-ins. I really liked cuz I really enjoy drawing on the spot and like meeting new people in person and being able to like come up with something like in the moment that is like fitting for that person. So it's really special whenever I just get like a walk-in that's like, I'm just like in town for the night and I'm trying to like guess something and then we end up forming a connection. And I think that's like a really beautiful thing. So that's what I
That's
like
what
about that
brought you
place.
to you were interested in night school because the you can take walk-ins there.
Yeah, the walk-ins and then also the variety of artists, like I was saying, like just like I've learned I feel like so much just being surrounded by all these like cool like variety of artists, like
Oh yeah,
people who do everything. It's so cool.
you
I feel like
commute
my
there,
work,
right?
yeah. Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I live in Echo Park, like Silver Lake area,
There's
and then
so many. You're surrounded by plenty of tattoo studios you could work at there. Like so many. I'm
yeah.
just kind of curious. Like, what was your goal? Like, where was it? Not that deep. You just want to work in Santa Monica, or are you like, I'm gonna try to become one of the greatest artists in the world? Like, I'm on one. I'm gonna work my way up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I
No,
want to
I
keep going. You know.
for sure. Yeah, no. My goal actually is to kind of travel around with my stuff in the coming years. I'm actually splitting time between night school and Angel Kisses right now in Echo Park.
Hmm.
And I love all the artists there too for the same reasons that I like all the artists at night school. But the main thing that drew me to night school initially was that I made a couple friends that were there. I did a trade with David, Trash Baby Forever on Instagram. And I just had like so much fun tattooing with him. And I guested at night school. And then I guested there again. And then I just liked the shop so much and like the area
Makes
and the
sense.
beach and
You're
yeah,
right there in the nicest part of Venice. The beach, you can walk to it from the studio. There's nowhere like it in the world. So anyway, big
right.
congrats on. So what's significant about this is like you did all that while you're dealing with like chronic pain and like. So are you not diagnosed EDS, but you like are sure you have it, kind of thing
Yes.
situation? Okay, cool.
So it's
Because
kind of like impossible to get a diagnosis of EDS. But I know because of everything that my mom has gone through with it. So my mom has EDS and she did so much research and like so much like going through doctors and everything like that. And then based on my symptoms that I've had since I was a child, she was able to like help me come to that conclusion also. Um, so yeah, that I mean, if anyone suffers with EDS, like it is the worst because it is so invisible and nobody knows you're dealing with it, and it is really, really painful. Really
Yeah.
painful.
Yeah, it's one of the most like as far as chronic pain goes, like people die by pain. It's called intractable pain. You can literally die a death by pain. That's how bad it is. So, I actually including with this post, I have a public resource. It's called HEDS. It's called hEDSresource.notion.site. It's a public website I made that is full of resources, a lot of stuff. I've been an advocate for the last year, and anyone who's any young scratchers out there who are like young women dealing with, I'm too flexible. I'm having too many problems. I have subluxations. My heart rate skyrockets when I stand, kind of stuff. And is wondering about that stuff. I have and anyone who's not familiar, like EDS, when people say EDS, it's there's a whole lot of things involved, but basically the it's your body is too they call it hypermobility, but what it is, you don't have enough collagen in your body. So you're the thing collagen holds your body together, and it's like a house that is built with glue instead of nails. Essentially, like when I go reach for a cup out of the cabinet, I can pick up a cup and bring it down. But with someone who has, struggling with hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and that whole spectrum, it's not that simple. Already, you're having a million problems. You try to open a cabinet, you're in all this pain. Your wrist can't support the thing. Your muscles and tendons get slipped out of the way. Um, and they call it invisible, which is like now that I know so much about it, I can see when someone has it because I know so much about it. And you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, and it's ironic because it's not invisible at all. But it really is. I've been in a world surrounded by EDS specialists now for the last few months. And I had a few months where I wasn't dealing with people in the medical field who didn't know about what it was. But when we finally went to the and then for anyone watching too, my partner Clover is another tattoo artist in the scene. Got diagnosed with HEDS and POTS and MCAS and all that. So I've been a medical advocate for EDS patients and stuff now. So I'm like, I've been doing it full time. So I've definitely I'm sharing what I've learned throughout the process now. But
Which is amazing, by the way. Like A+ to you. That's so awesome, and she's extremely lucky to have you. It's amazing, and the resource that you shared with me is actually awesome.
yeah, I fixed
Thank
it
you.
up today. Yeah, you're welcome. It's functional now. I actually spent time getting it fully functional today. I redid everything, so it made it universal and sorted it all out. Um, but it's oh, what I was saying was is that it's they call it a rare disease, and I was like in a world where everyone knew what it was, and then we went to the hospital for Clover was suffering with like a CSF leak, which is like a spinal fluid leak, and no one knew who it was. We talked to like 30 professionals and not a single one of them knew. And I was like, okay, that's why they call it a rare disease. It's
Yeah.
like not a single person we encountered throughout the entire stay like was familiar, you know what I mean? So um but there's lots of stuff coming out. People are getting more informed. There's a lot of doctors out there now advocating for awareness
Mhm.
about it. It is like got a lot of strong connections to an environmental exposure to environmental toxins and stuff like that. So, in Indiana, there's countless cases of like young women who have like HEDS, like to the point where it's like extreme. It's like the epicenter. That's where like the first EDS clinic popped up. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
there's so many people, and it's like directly related to like where you're seeing like all of this like Roundup and stuff sprayed, like all these like crop fertilizers and stuff that's in the drinking water. But it's not just that. People get it everywhere. It's just a lot of any environmental exposure can lead to it.
Wow.
And so if you had it doesn't have to be that. It could be anything that was in your drinking water. It could be mold. Like if you grew up in a house from like a small child and throughout your entire childhood, you're exposed to like mold in the air, that can end up developing into this stuff, you know? So,
Interesting.
right. So it's not just genetic. It is genetic. Some people, it is fully genetic. Like they're born with it. A lot of other people develop it, and you can develop it from long COVID too. Same problem. It's
Wow.
constant chronic exposure to something that's irritating, and it causes all this crazy stuff to happen. And that and uh it it's really bad. It's really gnarly, right? And it it's I see a lot of young scratchers suffering with it, right? So here, sorry, one sec. Um, shoot. Sorry, pause one sec. I forgot something. One sec. Sorry.
Okay. No, it's okay.
I forgot the damn TV.
What up, Tattoo Nation? It's just you and me now.
All right. Anyway, sorry about that. All right. So anyway, all I've seen is that people who think they have it probably have it. I did a whole video that's like 30 minutes long. I just finished editing it. It'll be on YouTube, and it's just everything I've learned throughout the last year.
Yeah,
So there's it's tough, man.
it is tough. It's weird. Um, also, like, just I don't know how it. I actually don't know any other tattoo artists except for Clover who have this, and it's crazy because I've had to cancel appointments before because I've had a really bad day, and it's really, really difficult to like explain. And I don't know. I think people think I'm being like dramatic or like lazy even, and I'm like, never in my life have I been a lazy person in any capacity. In fact, I'm always pushing myself to go further. And like this like it's so frustrating, especially if you're a highly like motivated person or whatever, and you want to do so much but your body is like physically stopping you. And that is just so tough. Like, and also I've been misdiagnosed with stuff like I was diagnosed with like carpal tunnel when I was 18, and they were like, "Oh, it's because you draw too much." And I was like, "Well, that can't be right. I'm 18 years old."
Right. Right. That's the problem is like um the medical. So it's like anyone who's watching this, you could watch my YouTube video. I break all this down. But the the condition is so bad you can't even like function. It's impossibly brutal. There's like anyone who has it deals with the biggest problem is it's fully debilitating. You can't even do your own chores. You can't function. Like, you know what I'm saying? So anyone who does accomplish anything, who has hypermobile and has like POTS and stuff like that, is like, and the hardest working people in the world, you know.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's one of the most brutal, most painful, most debilitating conditions of any. It's like when you do finally get diagnosed and treated, they give you more meds than anything. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
literally like a 10 out of 10 pain, 10 out of 10 debilitating thing. It's gnarly. So anyone who's struggling with it and is powering through, definitely like the hardest working people in the world. And then that, like you said too, that's the other hard problem is that is the biggest problem with it is like underdiagnosis. So that's when you get misdiagnosed. People think you're being dramatic. They'll say you have anxiety. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of really
Yeah.
dark things that happen with all of that. And almost
I've
always
just been told that I have like mental problems,
they
and
lock
that's
people
why.
up. Like young
Yeah.
women who like go in and try to get treated for hEDS get locked up, and it's really horrifying. And they die all the time from it too. It gets like more dark than it's that's the really brutal part about it is like that's why actually there's so many doctors, not so many, but there's doctors advocating right now for awareness because so many people are dying from it. It's not
Yeah.
like something that's like people find out they have ADHD, which mind you, that's serious too because people do die from that too. Big time. Like people with ADHD have like something like 15, 20 years less on their life expectancy.
I've actually heard that
Huge,
before. That's a crazy
hugely
study.
hugely less amount life expectancy. But aside from that,
Well, it's also because I have ADHD also, and people with ADHD are more likely to abuse substances and to like do stuff like that just because like it's crazy out here. It's crazy.
mhm, no, for sure. And so it's way beyond even that. So you
Yeah,
have
it's like there's so many different things with that.
yeah. So it's like it's a really serious thing. So it's like this is like I see. I guess uh the hardest thing I see is seeing young scratchers dealing with this, right? And it's like I have laid out what resources I can. You know what I'm saying? To like basically that the first one is that like you have to basically have this like the code. You know what I'm saying? You have to have this code that you live by in order to, if you want to like actually get treatment. Like the first thing is to know that no one is trying to help you. Like if I think most people like completely fall apart on step one, which is like trying to if you feel like someone's going to care or someone's going to empathize or someone's going to know about it or someone's going to try to get you help, but that there's no one's going to do that. The system is not set up for that. It's even someone who does actually care, they're in they're working somewhere where they can't, right? So but if you go in knowing that, that's step one, because now you're looking at it through a different perspective. You're like, who knows about this thing? How do I talk to the person and get what I want, what I need, right? It changes
Right.
the whole perspective, because what happens is 99% of people don't make it past step one. They go in and you're under the assumption, you get talked into thinking someone's going to help you. You know, you're like, no, you go in and then you always end up getting talked into it. Like, no, this person says they're going to do something about it, you know?
Right.
And then the next thing is that, you diagnose yourself. It's all about you. You're the one doing your treatment plan every step of the way.
Yeah.
Like even we met, and I know this to be true because we met so many people now that went on to become doctors so they could treat themselves. So in this space, like in the world of like hEDS and POTS, and they call it super pentad syndrome, um, these people are literally going on to become doctors so that they can treat themselves and people they care about. So if that tells you like how valid people are for, you know what I'm saying, being like, I'm pretty sure I have this thing, it's not something you get confused about, right?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like you know your own body better than anyone else. And I like for me, I had so many hospital visits of intense pain and just them telling me there's absolutely nothing wrong with me and me being like, no. And like eventually I gained like a fear of doctors because they would always tell me that there's nothing wrong with me. And I would just, so anytime I would go to the doctor, I would just like cry because I was so
Mm-hmm.
stressed out that they're just going to tell me that nothing's wrong, but I'm
Right.
like screaming for help and it's like exhausting. And the thing I've learned is just that like I've kind of learned to like sit and meditate with my body and like really go inside and like figure out exactly what is going on. And I know that I'm right. Like no matter what anyone tells me, like I know that I know my body better than anyone else. And there's been several instances where I've been given the wrong medication. I've been given like different things for things, and it would like mess with my entire system.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing too, is like I said, people don't even survive it, the underdiagnosis, the getting misdiagnosed. So that's the first thing, is like understanding that like, okay, no one's there to help you. And step two is like, it's up to you to find the person who's specialized in it, and then also to follow up with them to make sure they treat you. Because like, even though I found a specialist for Clover, I'm still calling the front desk. I'm dealing with them constantly. I'm back and forth. I'm on the phone with every person. I'm following up on every test. I'm making them order the tests, specific tests. Like, we want this test, making sure they do it. You know what I'm saying? There is no, they're going to figure it out for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You literally, and then it's also like, if you think you have it, you probably have it, kind of thing too, right? So it's like, that's the other thing. And it's like, um so that's like the angle. It's like, and then getting treatment is another hard one. It's like really the only way to like, if you're either wealthy or and you can pay for all the cash to get all of the good things done, or you're not, and then your only
right.
hope is to get on Medicaid. And you can get treated through Medicaid, but it's a battle every step of the way, because they just automatically deny every single thing and you have to like appeal everything. But you
Yeah,
can do it in California. You can. It's just hard. So
yeah.
like that's, I'm just kind of like laying out what we've accomplished so far, you know? Like
Hmm.
I'm at least sharing that, because so many people are struggling with that. There's some places where you can't do anything. Like in Indiana, they have the right to refuse care to anyone. And you're just not going to
Yeah,
get treated there for it unless you're wealthy. So it's just
right.
like so crazy to be in this situation, you know? And then so dealing with chronic pain and trying to start a tattoo career with like one of the most debilitating and brutal conditions there is in the world is pretty insane. And it's like, it's starting to get kind of widespread too, just because of like, and it's like the genetic deposition is the genetic vulnerability is the first thing. So like, even if you're not born with it, you're still someone who's vulnerable to chronic environmental exposure is going to make you develop this thing. So it's like something that's, I think it's important to talk about, and it's important to make these resources. And just because it's a lot of people, I'm seeing just like, young artists just in my like, feed and stuff like that who, like are like have pots, you know what I'm saying? And they like, will like post about it. They're like, I don't know what to do. Like I have a tattoo appointment and I can't like do it. You know what I mean? They're like, what the fuck? Like, what's wrong with me? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then they'll go to get help and they'll be like, they'll just be like, you have anxiety. You know what I mean? So
right.
it's like, so I'm just like, okay, I gotta like try to put some resources out here to kind of lay a path for at least something people can do. Um,
It's good too because it makes if you're knowledgeable about these things, it is all involved with tattooing also because if I have a client that has EDS or any of these things, like I'm educated on chronic pain and I know what it feels like, and like I feel like there's a certain gentleness that I try to bring to every person, no matter if they have chronic disease or not. Like I think that's really important for tattoo artists
yeah, they
in
should
the
be aware of it.
space to know.
Right. So this is a message to all tattooers, not people this directly affects on a personal level. Is like this is a widespread thing that's happening. And it's becoming more and more common as Americans are exposed to more and more buildup of chemicals throughout our lives. Or
Mhm.
yeah. So people with EDS have and again, hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is like the one that you see the most common, sort of. That's kind of what more widespread these days, but it's part of like a whole spectrum of things. But it's called super pentad syndrome. So you have like that. You have MCAS, which is like your body gets super inflamed all the time, and they're all kind of connected, right? So, but just for the sake of communicating, we just say EDS, right?
Right.
So anyone who has EDS is like they have their skin takes ink 10 times better than someone else. Like it's absurd. So like
Yeah.
you can do this thing where you can oversaturate. Like it doesn't mean you rip the skin, it doesn't mean you damage the skin. It just puts so much ink in there that the
Mhm.
skin will be like swollen up. So like you'll go to tattoo someone to pull a line who's got EDS and all of the ink will go in immediately because
Yeah.
they don't have as much collagen. So like this is like a normal person's skin, like the skin cells are like pushed together like this and they have collagen holding them together. People with EDS, everything is held together like this.
Exactly.
Their blood
Yeah.
vessels are, their skin, every organ, everything. Like your insides, your skin, like everything is crazy. That's what makes it so painful.
Mhm.
And so their skin's going to take ink really well, and some people, well, the skin will get damaged easier and it will not heal very well either. So you have to be, like you said, crazy crazy. You'll know right away when someone has it. So another tattoo artist, Oz at Totality,
Mhm.
they own Spear Maiden in downtown LA. Oz has EDS and POTS. And we were doing a collab on Clover, and as soon as like pulled the first line, Oz was like stopped and was like, "Do you have hypermobility?"
No,
Literally,
that's awesome.
like pulled one line and asked Clover that, and Clover was like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do." You know,
Mhm.
so it's something you can recognize immediately.
Yeah, I always wondered why my skin was so, like, weird when I would get tattooed. Like, I would always get, I noticed that when I got tattooed, my skin would get really, like, puffy, like, almost like a puffy sticker, like, in the area. And, like, and it would also be, like, if I tattooed myself, it was easier for me to, like, blow out or, it was, like, very, very dark. But then I would go to tattoo other people, and it wasn't like that.
It wouldn't saturate.
Yeah, I would have a hard time saturating whenever I first started because I taught myself on myself for the most part. So it was just like a very weird learning curve for sure.
Yeah,
But
yeah. The one thing I wish I could say, like on this live, is that I wish I could be like, "There's some hacks if you have EDS to get through your career." Like, you know what I'm saying? But the hard thing to say and why this makes it me nervous to talk about it in general is because it's like there isn't hacks for
yeah,
it. It's not a good thing. There isn't, it's not something you can really even be like, the optimism is like, hey, it's not completely hopeless. You can still get a quality of life. But there isn't like a good chair that's going to make the difference. You know what I'm saying? Like there isn't going to be anything you're really going to be able to do that's going to allow you to tattoo like a normal person. Um,
yeah.
like
I mean,
what?
the best thing I can say is that for from what I've learned with dealing with this for the last couple of years, especially the last couple of years, for some reason, like I had a really bad flare up like about 2 years ago, and it kind of just got worse from there. And I would say just staying really on top of my health has helped me a lot, like just in general, but it kind of sucks because you're like, I'm young, I want to party, I want to do stuff, but it's like I just have to be extra cautious with, like, I can't go drinking with my friends a lot of the times like in the way that they do, because I have to take very extra care of my body. Like I have to make sure I'm eating really healthy because people with EDS have more digestive issues also. I have to make sure that I am like not drinking like too much because that can mess with me. And I have to work out, otherwise my body will like feel worse. And working out can help with EDS pain. Um, like very like not like intense workouts, but like slower, sort of like a yoga or like really long walks, that sort of thing. That's the type of workouts that
You
I
know,
do.
I mean, Oz tattoos, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. Like, they, like, every time I see them, they look like they're going to pass out because they have POTS. You know what I mean? Too. So it's like
Hmm.
anyone who has EDS, like a POTS, I always can tell immediately. Like, when I look
Yeah.
at someone, I can know in seconds. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, this is a
Hmm.
specific look you have when you have, like, tachycardia or whatever. You're, like, standing there, your face gets red and you like look. I don't know how to explain it, but
Yeah.
I used to think like Clover was mad at me. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And like, but now I know it looks different. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's. But anyway, what Oz does is like Oz is you know, does a lot of the self care stuff too. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? They've kind of found a sort of balance with it all. But you know, that's the thing too, is the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? It's like Clover was had a balance with, I mean, Clover made a tattoo career for herself. You know what I'm saying? Came here to LA and carved out a tattoo career where there was none, you know, created her own niche, her own style. Right when she just started to learn and like was just about to have an opportunity to dig in and find her style, we moved. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
couldn't have been worse. And then to a place where we didn't have like, you know what I'm saying, like friends or family or anything. So it's like, but she still made it happen. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
we finally,
that's how I feel. Like I relate to her a lot because I kind of have the same situation. Like I've been on my own out here for 5 years, and it's like dealing with all the doctors and everything like on my own and like all that sort of thing. Like it is so isolating. And I actually didn't even know anyone else dealing with it until you had reached out to me, because I had posted something on my story and I said, I have EDS. Like, does any other tattooers have EDS out here? Because
mhm.
it's so weird and it's so hard.
Yeah. So, like, but anyway, I hit a point where it was like she couldn't anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy to
Yeah.
look back and like how sick, you know what I'm saying, she got, like, could even compared to months or years ago. And it's crazy because, like, at a certain point, you know, something happens, you get a CSF leak. That's like the most common, like, that's where like the fluid that's around your brain and your spine leaks out. And that happens a lot to people with EDS. And like, there's all kinds of nasty shit that happens. People got to get
So
shoulder
scary.
surgeries. They got different surgeries, stomach surgeries. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's like why you got to like, that's why like, I don't know what this, like, I'm just going to say like where I feel like we were at and why it changed my life a lot. So like a
Mhm.
year ago, like so we started figuring out what was going on. And I was like, okay, this is the situation. Right. So I'm like, the only way this works is if I can pivot to a career where we can work together full time and we can work remote full time. And then we need to make $1 million a year. And that wasn't a number I came up with like abstract or just saying that. Like we actually need to make that much money. Like because like that's what it's gonna cost to like
That's
get
insane.
the stuff done we need to get done and have like an acceptable quality of life essentially, right? Because you need a lot of things, like you need a lot of special care, you need a lot of special equipment, basically, like, you know what I'm saying, like your whole day is like, you know, so but like I was like, this is the situation though. I was like that, and then it has to be like all in. Like we need to,
Right.
I need to switch starting like right now and make this happen. So I was like, really the only opportunities people have now is there is like opportunities as creators. That
Mhm.
is like the only, that's, there's never really been an opportunity like that for anyone really in America. You know what I'm saying? Who like since, you know,
Right.
for 100 years, and there is right now. So I was like, this is our only chance. And so I don't know anything. We come from the Midwest. I don't know anything about that stuff. I didn't know anything about starting a business. Even though we had a business, I didn't know like how to do a tech startup. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I was just like, we have to figure this out, and
That's
that's
the
the
one
only
part about
way.
tattooing that I still feel like I can't get down is like the social media aspect. I feel like I try really hard, but I feel like I have no idea what I'm doing half the time. And I just end up posting like whatever I want, whenever I want, when that's not like feeding the algorithm or whatever. That's an annoying part about tattooing that I really don't like.
Well, it is at the end of the day, as far as
But
like
it's a good
getting, I guess getting doing advertising for your tattoo business is what people are talking about. Tattoo artists, when
right.
they say talk about social media, it depends what your goal is. You know, you have different goals. Do I want to be a professional influencer and make money from affiliate link sales and brand deals, and do I want to get lots of bookings from my tattoo career, and then maybe get some other opportunities for a thing here or there? Right? So it depends on your
Yeah.
goal. When most tattooers talk about, I hate doing the social media side of it, or I don't get it, or this or that, usually they're talking about advertising. They don't like using social media because you got to engage with it a certain way in order to get reach, to get bookings. But
Right.
the thing is advertising has always been a huge part of tattooing. And like, let's just jump back 100 years real quick. So there was so few bookings, like in like the like mid to late 1800s, that people who were tattoo artists would have to literally pack up their stuff in a backpack and hop on a boat, like a sailor ship, not just any boat, a military boat from a different country. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Mhm.
imagine like an American Navy ship pulls up to a port, and you're Japanese, you jump on the ship with just the shit in your back and ride this boat, because that was the only work, was these sailors were going to get tattoos. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And they would go out there and sit outside these ship ports with their little flash sheet and sit out there on a chair and like holler at sailors and be like, "Hey, blah, 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 come get a tattoo." They'd follow them into bars and brothels. So and then that kind of hustle, it didn't stop there. It keeps going, like, you know, even up into like the 1950s and stuff like that. You have these tattoo artists who do insane publicity stunts to get bookings, because they had to. They do crazy stuff. They do big like events out in the street. Like one guy, like there's a story of this guy who tattooed a wildebeest for a week straight. They tied this, like, it's like a bowl basically. He tied it up and tattooed it for a week straight in public just to get like hype for the newspaper. Um,
So cool. Part of
one
me wants
guy,
to bring back that like old school like advertisement, like say like fuck Instagram, I'm gonna go full on like
but you can though. That's what I'm saying. There isn't.
yeah, no, I
It's the
honestly didn't
same,
think
is what I'm saying.
hmm
You can do the digital or you can do the IRL. Arguably, like the one's not necessarily better than the other. You know what I mean?
right.
Like IRL
Yeah,
marketing works really good.
it
You know what I'm
does.
saying?
Hmm
And it bleeds over into social media anyway. You could almost double down and say, my IRL marketing, I could just do social media that's just advertising my IRL marketing.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Yeah.
you don't duck advertising, is all I'm saying. So if you don't like doing it online, then you can do it on the street. But like, it's not really about like the social media as much as it is like which kind of advertising you're going to do, because you can't not do advertising if you have a business, you know.
Right. Exactly.
So I don't know.
I'm super grateful to live in a time where there's so many options for advertising, especially like Instagram as a platform. Like I've been making money through Instagram basically like my entire adult life. Like I started out like doing portraits like of people on like as like caricatures on Instagram like when I was 17 or whatever, and I saved up. That's how I actually saved up money to move out here. It was doing caricatures.
Damn, that's amazing. Hell yeah, that's
Um
hustle right there. Love it.
yeah, literally. And I've been making yeah, making money through Instagram has been like basically the whole game. And I'm really, really grateful for that opportunity, and this time of social media. And even though I do get annoyed by all
Oh
the social
yeah.
media things.
Well, I mean, I think is advertising in general is like annoying because it's not tattooing. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't. For me, I've always just had more of a sterile look at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not really necessarily emotionally invested on that level. I'm just like, there needs to be some kind of marketing. It doesn't really matter if I want to go print flyers and hang them up or not. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
um, knowing that I could go do that instead is a relief. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
You know,
Yeah, totally.
but what I'm saying is with the opportunities is this. So like, I felt like just tattooing, even if we were both tattooing, me and Clover, full time, like
Mhm.
7 days a week making bank. We both were making 100 grand a year each. It still doesn't work. It's not functional. It's not sustainable because of like the care, you know what I'm saying, that she's going to need.
Exactly.
So I was like, okay, we're going to figure this out. I'm going to figure out what it means to be a professional influencer, what it means to do this properly and make money with it. And we can still, we've always wanted to do it with tattoo anyway. We've always wanted to do like a Scratchers Ink Master show. We've always wanted to do all this other stuff, make educational content on a YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
There's money to be made and opportunity there. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to figure this out. But it was a lot of me figuring it out. Was like us almost getting evicted like 4 times. Like we literally got like, I think I just got like our third or fourth notice to pay or quit. Like
Wow.
since we moved out here, you know. And before we lived here, we each had 2 cars. I had like a house with the yard, front backyard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, I
That's
had
the
a
thing about tattooers though, is there's so many like there it's really not it's not an easy thing to be a tattooer at all. Like you have ups and downs. There's some months where I have like the most money I've ever had in my life. And then there's some months where I'm also close to eviction and I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent this month. Like
yeah.
it's super unpredictable, especially if you have health issues.
Right. It's the health issues really, because like we were good, and I with tattooing I was fine. You know what I'm saying? Like if I was stayed where I was, I open my books like twice or 3 times a year. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Like I could still do that if I go to pretty much any small town. Like I
Right.
get it. Like after coming to LA, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm locked in. Like I get
Yeah.
how to do this stuff. You know, in a small town it's easy. But what changed was I was like, I actually have to try to do this creator thing full time and do the caretaker stuff, and like there isn't like trying to do both. So it's the same way that you take a dive when you go to become a tattoo artist full time. You're like, I'm gonna just like I gotta quit my day job and try to make this work, and maybe it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
I've been doing that same thing since a year ago, since I started being like an advocate and caretaker full time. You know what I mean? Um, it's been crazy, but I'm finally like this close. You know what I mean?
So do you not tattoo that much anymore?
I guess I haven't been that much lately. Um, uh, yeah, just I mean, like I said, when Clover's health has been bad, it's just been like
Yeah.
that's been kind of full time. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, so but I'm still doing like I'm about to do like a bunch of stuff, a bunch of experimental tattoo stuff, and like a bunch of educational stuff, and
That's
um
awesome.
because like I said, tattooing, like if I just kept tattooing full time like I was, I
Mhm.
had to literally abandon it, because if I just kept doing it, it didn't make sense. Clover's not getting help. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not pivoting to a new career that's going to work out. It just was like the path of like me just continuing to tattoo and having a successful tattoo career. Even if I like hit it big, was doing $2,000 a day, the path was like this, a slow decline as far as like what we could sustain together financially and
Yeah.
also meet like the health requirements. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um,
She's like I can't stress this enough. That's like truly like so like noble of you to do for her. Like it's like that's so
I
amazing.
guess that's
Like
the other thing I say too, though, is like it's not even like that, because like Clover has a lot to offer too. It's not even
right.
just a noble thing. Like I guess like that's something I tell people too, is it's like she like also secured that for herself by being irreplaceable. You know what I'm saying? Like Clover
Right.
isn't just my partner, it's my co-founder, it's my teammate, it's my
Exactly.
business partner.
Yeah.
Clover has brings so much to the table as like a creator, and like and as like there's literally like I can't find another person to do it, even being unwell. You know what I'm saying? Like so it's like that is like a really powerful thing that
Yeah.
she
I
did
love
that
you guys
isn't on my end.
as a team. Like
Thank
the
you.
team is so strong. I love it. I just know for me like some of my loneliest moments have been spent in pain and like not knowing who to talk to about it. And it's such a hard thing. And
Oh
so
yeah, that's for
it's
sure.
so cool that you guys are like a little duo and you're educating people about it. I think that's really sick.
Hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I guess it's like I don't even think about it because it's just dark every step of the way. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
there's nothing
totally.
lonelier than being in pain. You
I
know what I
get
mean?
it.
Like of course it's like helps to have someone there, but it's still also impossibly lonely. You know?
No, exactly,
Um,
for sure.
I do
It's
appreciate what you're saying though. I'm not like I just what my thing is. I'm trying to educate. It's like
yeah,
like she invested in her future by being this person, like, because what happens to most people that have hEDS and deal with underdiagnosis and deal with pain and chronic pain is it makes you bitter, and it makes you like all you can do is like put out your frustration all the time. You get locked into this like, I'm so frustrated with you, with you, with you, with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that you, and what sucks is like even when you're nice, you get treated with like people being mean to you
Hmm.
because you're in pain.
This is why
But
there's a high suicide rate for people with EDS. It's like, it's really, really heartbreaking.
mhm. I
I've
mean,
heard
that's why
so
these
many horror
doctors are
stories.
advocates for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they have patients who unalive themselves, and that's why they're all teaming up to try to like, they're getting personally like they're all getting rocked. You know what I'm saying? Like the person they're
Yeah.
caring for that they weren't like giving enough, like they weren't believing enough. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
there's a handful of doctors out there that are haunted by their past actions of not believing their patients. You know what I mean? And they're
Yeah.
starting to advocate for that stuff. And you're absolutely right. It
That's
is.
amazing.
Um, so right. So it's like the really that's the path I see for it. It's not an easy path, but it's like the only hope is to like try to like there's an opportunity with being creative, there's an opportunity being online. If you don't post, you're not going to get any opportunities, right?
Hmm.
So the more you post, the more opportunities are going to come. The less you post, the less opportunities are going to come. It's a pretty simple formula. And it's like the if you put out positivity, you a lot of times you'll get it back like twofold or threefold. Um, and there's nothing wrong with being negative either and telling your story because people relate to that too. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? People connect with that. But being alone sucks because your whole situation is like 100 times worse. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like,
Right.
it's you're in danger, you know what I'm saying? Just from being like a woman who's like, it's like not well, you know what I'm saying? Who's sick. So it's like every situation is bad. So it's like, and also like putting out frustration and anger and getting that back is like so you gotta hedge your bets any way you can, you know what I mean? Hedge your bets, but you gotta like control the percentage of your luck every little place you can, I guess.
Yeah.
um
No, totally. I've been told that I have like resting bitch face, or that people think that I don't like them, just but it's actually just because I'm probably just exhausted and probably
i'm
in pain.
I'm guilty of that as my like on my for with my partner. You know what I mean? Like there's
Hmm.
like been a million times I just thought she was mad at me when she just literally had POTS, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like
Yeah.
couldn't stand for more than 3 minutes, you know?
Hmm.
There's so much I wish I knew, and I wish I like, you know, like there's um so much I could have done better a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
there's so much I could have done better.
But there's such
Ian,
a bright path forward. This makes me really hopeful, honestly, that more people are advocating for people with chronic pain. I think that's really a really beautiful thing.
it's all about throw. So what we did was we just found the right doctor.
Hmm.
I spent months researching. Thank God for AI tools. It's been an incredible thing. A tool that like I by using these like as also being in LA, I have access to more. Being like as like more I learn about the tech industry and learn about startups and like every day I'm like up to speed with all this stuff. Having access to the tools that other places don't. Like I got to use a lot of these new AI tools that were only rolled out in LA. You know what I mean? For months before the
What
rest of the
kind
world had
of
them.
AI tools? I'm
Like oh,
curious.
just like a like a Gemini, like Google's Gemini, deep research. Like
Hmm.
they rolled that out like beta in LA before, like months before it was rolled out to the rest of the country. So
So
I
you were
was
using
using
it to like research EDS and
Yep.
POTS and
Yep.
stuff.
Yeah. So I train them. So they're called, you know, LLMs, large language models, you know, like
Hmm.
things like GPT-5 and stuff like that. So, um, I'll train them. It's a lot of training. You have to give them data and teach them about what you need it to do and what your situation is. And you have to like educate it when it's wrong. You know what I'm saying? So you invest into training. And then I use the deep research tools where I'll literally set it to run for like an hour and search all of the internet for specific things. And there's like all these like it's called vibe coding. Vibe coding is like when you don't like type in the code yourself, but you're like, I want you to code something for me. And then you know the AI gives you a piece of code, you copy paste it, and you run that, and then there's got a bug. So you use a different AI
Wow.
tool, and you're like, hey, I want you to examine this and tell me where the bug is in this code, and then that tells you where the bug is and fixes it, and that's called vibe coding.
Hmm.
But that's kind of what all of it is. You can vibe code life. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Yeah,
vibe code everything. It's not
that's
just
interesting.
that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a new style of tech work. You know what I'm saying? So, um, that's kind of the strategy I'm using. So, like, I would start with like researching like um, recent startups that recently got venture capital funding in like a specific niche, like a certain type of radiology. So
Mhm.
I'll start researching any radiology startups that recently got VC funding in like the US. And then I'll like find out the name of one specific piece of tech and then I'll research that. And I'm just researching around to finding the names of people because the big medical tech startups, they go headhunt the best doctors. All of the best doctors aren't in the medical industry. They get headhunted by tech startups to come work for their private company. So that was like my way to go start finding doctors who knew what the fuck they were talking about
Wow.
because they aren't even in the medical industry. That was the problem I kept running into. I would hear about some doctor, everyone said he was the best. Everyone's like, go to Costa Colina, they're the EDS clinic. And I was just like, the whole time I was sus because
Mhm.
I start with finding doctors that are actively writing research, are publishing, editing. I really don't like going to a doctor that isn't actively like in published research. Like sometimes like you'll go find a doctor, the last time they were published was like in the early 90s. And I'm like, no way I'm going to that guy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I start there. So I have like it's really advanced, like the way I go hunt these people down. But you got to find people
Mhm.
that know what they're doing. That's step one. So you got to find the doctor and then get them to start treating you. You get a diagnosis first. That's step one. The eds.clinic is legit. You can get a diagnosis there. It's the real deal. It's like anywhere from like 250 to $500 for an appointment. Their entire business is diagnosing people by telehealth. That's it. That's the startup. So that's where you can get a legit diagnosis. Get it from a rheumatologist if you can, because legally that's like the most qualified person.
Mhm.
And then that's step one is to get a diagnosis. And then that's like kind of your thing you use to fight. So you got to go to specialists from there and you got to figure out what the next thing is. Like with Clover, she has a CSF leak. So I had to figure out how to get that fixed. And
That's so
then
scary. It's so
yeah, and
scary.
then she has like a TOS, so it's like she had to get this like her like subscapula. So I'm finding the specific symptoms, trying to go get those treated, and like the biggest one is just medication management, pain management. Like the thing that she needs right now still is just to be able to get through her chores day to day, because
Yeah.
like we're not even there, right? So finding like a pain management doctor who's like aware of all this stuff. So it's like, but so currently I'm looking for a pain management doctor, but I like am trying to find a specific one who
Mhm.
is educated, right? And like even right now, we're gonna end up going to Denver to see this one doctor to do this one procedure. You know what I'm saying? Because he's like the only guy I could find to do a styloidectomy that is educated on EDS. You know what I mean? So,
Wow.
but that's what it takes. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Um,
Recently, I I dealt with like this crazy, specifically in my right arm. My entire arm constantly felt like it was on fire, and this was happening for months. And it would go through these waves. So it would be like shooting down from like my neck. It would go all the way down my arms. And I've always had wrist pain. So that wasn't new. But I was having like this horrible, horrible, horrible pain, like all the way down my arm. And I assumed it was EDS related. But I was like, this seems like even worse than usual. Like there has to be something else going on. And so over the like past couple months I've been to doctors, I've been to like the emergency room whenever it was really bad where I couldn't even like see straight, couldn't even stand up. Um I would be like sobbing in my room, like um whatever. And so I ended up just after trying literally everything, I ended up going to like the dentist and I had like a cavity in my tooth, like one just really bad cavity. And just one really bad cavity in my mouth was causing like a like ginormous nerve pain in my entire body and causing everything to feel like it was on fire. Like I remember the bottoms of my feet would feel like sandpaper and like really hot. It was really weird. And that got fixed and it got better. But I was shocked that that was like the problem because I didn't even have tooth pain. And it's like stuff like that. Like it's tiny little things where if you have EDS, it's like a tiny little thing can ruin you for like months.
Oh yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah. Because it's
crazy.
like that's like trigeminal nerve related, right? So like that's one of the doctors we're actually looking at going to. There's this one doctor in Beverly Hills who is like a pain management doctor, and he deals with trigeminal nerve pain, and he knows he's published research on EDS. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's like a big one. Is like your nerves run throughout your whole body. You know,
Hmm.
but you're valid. Like the pain you're feeling is like 100%. I see you. It's 10 times worse than anything anyone else is dealing with. It's impossibly bad. Everything you're feeling is 100% real. It's really, like I said, it's a hard thing like to for people to understand because all you need is support and kindness because like it's an impossible thing. It's like what you're going through is 10 times harder than anything else anyone thinks they're going through. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll have pain and like I know from experience now, like the thing I'm feeling isn't even close. You know,
Yeah.
I know that for a fact. You know what I mean? And it's just like um, so the only really like I said, the path forward as far as like getting treatment and help goes is just like getting that diagnosis first and then getting that like pain management doctor, right?
Right.
When you go to the hospital, like I was there with Cobra. If I even left her for like an hour, it would have went bad. They would have been trying to discharge her and do all this stuff. Like I couldn't even leave because it was like I had to fight that hard every step of the way. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I was there with the paperwork, talking to every doctor. It was crazy. So it's like I don't even know how she could have done it by herself. You know what I'm saying? So there is ways to do it, and I'm trying to like I'm working on making those like available. I'm trying to do like a bunch of YouTube
It's
videos.
crazy too, because I mean, I have so many women in my life that have constantly been invalidated by doctors, and it's so unfortunately so common with women, and especially like black and brown women also, like
Oh, it's 10 times
constant,
worse.
like even worse. Like if I'm dealing with this, I can't even imagine what that is like. But it's like it's like as women, like we're constantly invalidated, and there's also like strangely not a lot of research into women's health in general.
They don't even know anything about the
So,
hormones, and
yeah, no,
it's
hormones are everything. Hormones are literally everything. And that's also a huge thing I've learned with EDS and managing my
we were
hormones.
wondering if like and this is just I'm not saying that any of this treatment this is all speculative. We've heard of people using testosterone who have EDS to help them grow muscle to help with
Yeah,
their who really are thin like who struggle with like body pain like you do and stuff like that with subluxations and that is actually a thing and there is good success rates from that. So
that's interesting, actually. I would love to look into that some more.
I've heard of it, and I can confirm now that I have definitely heard instances of that actually being a very good results with that treatment, be allowing people to gain like 15, 20 pounds even,
Wow.
and help with their chronic pain. So, like I said, it's just about finding the right doctor and finding out ways to hustle up cash. Like I said, and I would recommend like, do you follow people on TikTok who are like, like have HEDS or in the hospital? Like
I actually only have Substack and Instagram. I don't have
so
TikTok.
I think nothing is more isolating than being like alone with the pain, and it's also dangerous to be a woman and be alone with the pain. Because like
Hmm.
at one point, Clover was like, I don't think I can. Like, I'm scared to be out by myself at this point. Like when things were getting much worse, because she was
Yeah,
like, what am I gonna do? You know what I'm saying if I can't get home?
right.
So it's like it's deeper than just like it's a bad situation to be in, and the more public you can be in a lot of ways is adds a layer of protection. You get people who might have resources, who might know where you are, who might be able to help, might generate opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Hmm.
and so I don't know what like I said, it's a grim thing, but all I can say is there are opportunities out there. They're like impossibly hard to get, but I'm not, and I just want to say for the record, I am not telling anyone what to do. I don't know, like I'm not going through it, so it's like from what I've seen, it's not even possible to overcome the pain, to do the thing, to make the content you need to do your job. Like
It's basically all about pain management, unfortunately. And it's like, it sucks that there's no, like, it sucks that that's really hard to access. Like for me specifically, I'm more on the poor side. I like it's hard to access these things. And then so for me it's all about pain management and all about just staying really on top of my health as of right now and like doing some research into like things that other people are doing to manage their symptoms. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's different for everybody.
I would say too is just like as a poor person with hEDS, like figure out how to make $1 million. Start getting serious about it. Start thinking outside the box because like I don't see another path forward. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I don't see another path forward. Like it's there's new treatments coming out. There's crazy new tech. The medical industry, all of the good stuff that they're inventing that can help with hEDS and stuff like that are private companies. So you get like someone who like does a tech startup and they go get an investor to invest in their invention or their business. And then they build that up and then they go find the best doctor in the world who's an hEDS doctor. And then they pay him a huge salary to come work just for them. And then they build the thing that can save you. And then they have to sell it to make money to pay back their investors who got them going. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Nowhere does the medical industry fit into that business. You know what I'm saying? It's not even anyone's fault at that point. It's
right.
just the way it's all set up. It's just like you would have to have some kind of benign government who wants to pay for it for free. You know what I'm saying? But
I'm
that's not
actually I'm really curious what if there's like I don't know if anybody watches this and like is from Europe. I'm really curious what EDS treatment is like in Europe or if they even
the
like
best EDS places in France.
okay, that's
There's a
interesting
specific facility in France.
because because I've been thinking about recently like not only just guesting in places in Europe but uh I'm thinking about moving there because I actually have dual citizenship because my family's Dutch. So I've been thinking about moving to Holland.
In my video I'm posting after this on YouTube, you can check out. I like have like 10 like lessons in it. And like
Hmm.
lesson number like 2 or 3 is like where you live matters. And like if like we had to leave Indiana full stop before like Clover can even start to get care. Like you have like if someone like is listening to this and is dealing with this stuff and like lives in Indiana or somewhere, like I hate to say it, but step one is you gotta move immediately. You know what I mean? Like, cause like
Yeah,
there's some states where like there's a reason people got to drive over the border to go get a procedure done. That's
yeah.
like if people like if that's a thing, then going,
Yeah, no,
um,
honestly, I'm starting to feel like it was my dream to come to California, and I've been here for 5 years, and I feel solid about what I've accomplished here. But part of me wonders if my surroundings are making my chronic pain worse.
oh, absolutely. So I don't know if you're like how familiar with it. We posted a video recently called it's there's a research paper called like spiky leaky syndrome. Have you read that? Okay, it's called the complex path to intracranial hypertension, CSF leak in those with hypermobility and dysautonomia. The theory of spiky leaky syndrome. Okay, so this isn't a fringe case. This is what is like pretty much accepted as the standard now, and that's that you develop MCAS as like at a young age because of a exposure to a chemical or something, right? Like
Hmm.
there's Roundup in your drinking water. You're drinking it all the time for your whole childhood. You develop MCAS. MCAS is the root of all of it is and which is a chronic inflaming like your whole body is inflammation. And when you have MCAS, you have a histamine release. Like if you think about getting poison ivy or something, like when people have the really bad like histamine in their body, like scratching hives, you get that inside your body. So like when people with HEDS usually eat something, like just eat a normal thing like some French fries or something, you'll
Yeah.
have like that poison ivy kind of response inside your stomach.
Yeah,
And
my mom actually takes an antihistamine every day because of her
right,
EDS. She makes
exactly.
it's like part of she almost like takes it like a vitamin.
Right. So the root of it all is chronic inflammation, and environmental factors are the number one driving force of people developing like CSF leaks and stuff like that. So, and the air quality is huge ones. Like I said, mold is a really big one. A lot of people like that will lead to them getting a CSF leak is like what's in the water and what's in the air are the two
Mm,
biggest ones. So when we go to Palos Verdes, me and Clover, when we drive up there, Clover is instantly like noticeably looking healthier right away just because of like the air quality is so much better there and
wow.
there's less like noise, less like pollution. Cause when it gets really bad, it's everything causes inflammation, sound,
Yeah.
vibes, light, everything. So you're absolutely right. So it's environmental is like that's the dominating thing that's driving all of it is inflammation.
And that's just so it's so sad though, because it's like it's like this is affecting so many people, and like, and not everybody has the ability to just like up and move like that. And so I don't know. It makes me really, it's really unfortunate. It's like my mom deals with the same thing sort of in Texas, and she's been like trapped there even though she doesn't want to be in Texas, but she like has to be. And it's just like so unfortunate that like there's so many polluted areas, especially in the South, I will say. In the South and also Indiana. I've heard about Indiana and like how like there's like uh the runoff and like the chemicals, like it's just like, and it affects poor communities who oftentimes don't have other options.
Right.
And I don't know. That's something that
Talk about
our
losing the birth
lawmakers
lottery,
need to
you
look
know?
at. Yeah.
That'll never happen. That's not why America was built. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
the entire business of America is to collect taxes from working class people. It's a really simple business model. Um, that is just like it helps knowing how the systems work. That's what
Mm-hmm.
helps me. I feel like step one to getting care is understanding the system and coming at it from like a completely mathematical angle. Like, okay, you're like, I see how the system works. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
this is how it's built. So how do I fit in? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do I get through it without getting stepped on? How do I, you know what I'm saying? It's like you like, that's why I'm like doing a startup. I'm like, I want to be a tech startup. Like AI tools completely change the world for poor people. Like like people who like people who like are like in power and who like invest money in like keeping public school systems bad and stuff like that are investing a lot of money in keeping people from accessing AI tools because that's how good they are. You know what I'm saying? They're giving people the opportunity to get way more educated than they wanted them to be. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's why it's like, um, there's a lot of power in educating yourself. That's really like, and then it's always the person. When you're trying to get care, you forget everything. You're trying to hunt down individuals. Individuals. So always remember that. It doesn't matter where they are. You know what I'm saying? It's like when I hunted down this person for Clover and it wasn't easy to find her. Then I found her like through some podcast, through another podcast. She visited on here, said something about this. You know what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind. Hunt down the person. That's the right person. And they're not always going to be for sure be a, you know, you're not going to walk out of every appointment getting what you want. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like I said, like move, figure out how to get rich. You know what I'm saying? Because like if you can't get rich, then like you said, it's a lost cause. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what makes it suck. You're right. It is sad.
Yeah.
It's even like where the situation we're in. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's why I'm like interested in doing educational work because our lives were already so ruined. You know what I'm saying? Like where I was like my well water, like the house I lived in growing up was shared like the water with the field next to me, which was a Roundup Ready corn and beans field. So
Right.
like I wasn't just drinking a little bit of Roundup. I was drinking a lot of it and nitrates my whole life. And I was the sickest kid in school my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and this is fucked up because I was always the sickest kid in my
Me
grade.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't even have like hEDS. You know what I'm saying? Like I am like way better off than y'all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like my health doesn't even really come up. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Yeah.
like my stuff I'm dealing with is really messed up, and I feel like my life was a complete scratch loss because I like that's how bad I felt like it was. You know,
Yeah.
um,
I do. I think that there, I mean, for me, I try to deal with a lot of my symptoms in a I'm more of like a little bit like I'm really into like natural like medicine and like things like that, and like I've been educating myself about like different teas and like things like that. Like that's something that I'm like actively also educating myself on and like doing more research on. And it's obviously never going to cure me, but I have noticed that there's things that I am doing in my life that help my symptoms, and it's
oh
about
hell
pain
yeah,
management. And I would love to also share those things, and also like I just, it's all trial and error for everybody's
hmm
like individual body. Um that I also that I'm in this group chat on like Instagram of like all these girls who it's literally some girl that I met at a bar put me in this group chat because I put on my story that I had EDS. And It's just all these girls that live in LA that have all these different things, like, in basically a lot of invisible illness and like EDS and, like, endometriosis, like stuff like that. And we all just like shared tips in there. And I think that's a really cool way to like get information out there too. And I try to like kind of share little tidbits here and there
If you
about
know
like what
anyone
works for me.
who does coding or even vibe coding, I really think that's like
Hmm.
the future is like building resources. Because right now, like I finally started learning a little bit of coding, and I never wanted to. I only learned it because I had to as like part of a startup stuff. But already right now with like the tools, like being able to build a website, like a simple website that allows each person to upload their like what they're doing that's working for them and maybe some specs about themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like what I think I have, what my like age and weight is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you could code a website where they can upload their thing, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And then you can like search it or like kind of like, you know what I'm saying? It's like I think building group source resources is really important and I'm interested in that. I'm
I
here trying to
would
do it.
definitely add to it.
I'm building
Definitely.
a WhatsApp that's basically just a global community of anyone who's like a celebrity scratcher and is traveling and needs
Hmm.
a sublet or like a swap.
That's
And
awesome. That's
like
cool.
it's crazy that no one's done that yet. So like I'm doing it officially. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm actually doing it and I'm doing it with the tech. And
Yay.
but like that it's just crazy that I'm the ones like why me? You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
how am I the person out here doing the EDS advocacy? How am I trying to be like I need to build a website? Like we need the tech. I think a
Well,
lot of
all these things
people
are relatively new. It feels like an old concept. It feels like sort of like how hasn't anyone done this? But in reality, like the tattoo industry, the way that it is now is super new. And even when I was apprenticing, like and when I started in like 2019 or whatever it was like not the same as how it is today.
no, that's for sure. I just feel
And
like I'm slow on the tech, like using AI tools and stuff.
mhm.
Like I just like, but when I
If
look
you're slow, then
around,
I'm super slow because I know
well,
nothing about that.
that's what I'm saying. I didn't expect the gap to be this bad. I didn't
Hmm.
expect, I knew there's going to be a gap. Like, I figured I would probably know a little more than other people, but like the gap is like blowing my mind. Like, people are just like, every time you search on chat, it uses 3 bottles of water or whatever. And I'm just like, how are we going to make a future for ourselves? Because I tell you what, the dollar isn't going to be worth the same in a few years. Like, it's getting bad fast and like things are going to get a lot worse. Like things are, you don't look around and be like, hey, everything's going great. You know what? I bet I'll be able to afford a car. Like I bet next year $100 is going to get me more groceries. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
things are not headed that way. They're headed the opposite way. So it's
Right.
like when I look around at my peers and my colleagues and even like young folks that are like dealing with like chronic pain and hEDS and stuff like this, I'm like, we need to like get very serious like right now about using every tool possible to pool every resource we have, every bit of knowledge, share everything I've learned. Cause like I'm just trying to make a YouTube right now. And I'm just like, I think it's just a matter of like seeing how serious it is. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know from like what I know about like the tech industry and like business and everything I've learned is that like the things like the inflation is going to get much, much worse for poor people. And so my whole thing is like, this is kind of like our chance, like this year, like we probably have like 12 months to actually learn and get serious about using these AI tools and building resources like a website where we can pool our knowledge and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Before no one can afford a computer anymore.
Yeah. I think that it's definitely like I also agree that I need to be more knowledgeable on this stuff because I'm so not great with technology and
I don't want to
I
do it.
never have been.
I don't want to do any of it. I didn't have
But
a phone until I was like in my late 20s. I'm 37. There wasn't phones when I was in school. Texting wasn't a thing till I was like 20, you know?
right, yeah.
So like think about what I had to go through to like learn how to use the internet, you know? Like
Totally. No, I honestly, I didn't really access the internet until I was like, I mean, I was still young. I was like 14, but and the kids nowadays,
yeah,
they
they've had it since
are like
kindergarten, right?
literally since kindergarten, they had an
Mm,
iPad since they were like 3 years old. And I'm like,
yeah.
and kids know a lot. Like it's
Hmm.
crazy. Like I feel like the kids I've been meeting recently, like out and about, are like all like little adults
Oh,
already.
hyper educated. That's what I'm saying. That's what it's all about.
Yeah,
So, but anyway, we'll wrap it up. But I'm gonna include those resources. I spent a lot of time on this YouTube video that's got a lot of info that'll help.
please, yeah.
I updated that website so that it's functional now and it's good. And then I'll be making some videos that are just like on like what doctors I know that are good. Like I know like eds.clinic was good. I know some doctors that are good that we've had figured out. So
Hmm.
I'll share all that stuff. And like I said, it's not there's stuff you can do. You know,
Hmm.
I think there's a lot of money to be made. There's people who with chronic illness that are becoming influencers, and they're just talking about what they're going through every day.
Totally.
Like, there's
Yeah,
this girl on TikTok who's in the hospital getting like a surgery done. You know what I'm saying? And like she's filming from in the hospital room, like trying to get treated for hEDS. Like,
wow.
and she's getting invalidated. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, there people are figuring out so you can just get on TikTok and like post like 5 times a day, 10 times a day, go live
Right.
for an hour a day. Cause the more you're doing that, the more you might actually make some money so you can pay for the best doctor and go to
Yeah.
France and stay for a year at the EDS clinic there. That's the best one. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Because like
Is
it's
that your goal
just
with Clover to go
no,
to
no,
that
no,
one?
no, no.
No.
No, I don't even know that much about that place. Um, I don't know a lot about that place. I know it's good. No, I'm very like step by step practical. Like
Totally.
I have my eyes on the next thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
One step at a time. But
100%.
anyway, uh, yo, you're valid. I see you. That it's
Thank
brutal.
you
You know what
very
I'm saying?
much.
I
Yeah, it's
understand what you're
tough.
going through. I think you know, um, you know, I think it's at least that you're valid. You know what I'm saying? And um, communicating with people. I don't know. I don't know how to get people to understand.
Yeah, if anybody sees this and is an artist or like has whatever, like if you have any questions for me, honestly, anyone is welcome. I'm a safe place to reach out to if you're dealing with chronic pain. I get it. And yeah, I don't know. I I I really, yeah, it's just like such a tough thing to be dealing with.
No, it is
And
for sure. And I just think you're super tough. Like to be able to make a tattoo career for yourself, you're like insanely hardworking and it's a huge accomplishment. You're like you got a residency in an incredible studio.
thank you.
I mean, huge accomplishment. So you're a badass for that. And that's why I'm happy to have you on. You know what I'm saying? Because like the accomplishing what you've accomplished is a true like a scratcher success story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, thank you.
Hell
Thank
yeah.
you.
So
Yeah,
thank you so
I
much. All
try
right.
my best.
Hell
Thank you
yeah.
so much.
Yeah, for sure. Later, Ziggy.
Bye.